Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Holly Randall Unfiltered. I have a really special guest today. I've actually been following her on Instagram for quite a while. And so when she reached out to me and said that she was coming out to LA, I just felt like this was a conversation that was meant to be. She is somebody who is truly redefining the conversation around sex work. She's the manager of one of Europe's largest legal brothels, and she's currently pursuing a PhD on prostitution and policy. She believes sex work can be safe, dignified, and even empowering when done voluntarily and within a legal framework. We'll talk about what really goes on behind the doors of a European club, why American men might actually be the best clients, and the surprising way that sex work can change lives. Welcome, Catherine DeNoire.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm so excited to have you here. I just find you to be really fascinating. And I love that you're going out there and you're talking so openly about what you do, because I always talk about how there's such a mystery and, a veil over sex work in general. And I, come from many, many years in the porn industry, but you work on the other side of sex work in a brothel. So there's things that I don't really know much about. So I'm excited to learn from you today. Now, you started as a psychologist. So what led you to brothel management?
It was one big coincidence. So I decided to go to psychology because I always had this passion for talking with people, being around people. And I like to think what is going on inside our heads. Mm-hmm. So at some point I was like, okay, maybe I will just try psychology. And it's really hard to get in, but I managed to get in. And so I started to study psychology, and then I found neuropsychology. And I did my internship in one of the biggest hospitals in my country. And I originally thought I'm going to do neuropsychology, specifically studying dementias, like Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease. And at some point, I found this article with a guy, and he was a manager of a brothel. And it was called, They Call Me Pimp, But I Protect Women. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And before that, I knew brothels existed, but I didn't know anything about them. So I was like, okay, cool, let's just read it. And he's actually now my colleague, so that's funny. So he spoke about the way, how they treat this business as a regular business, how they treat women with respect. That actually the women, they are not their employees, but they are independent contractors, and that they are actually their clients. And I was like, this dynamic is something I would never think of. And he spoke about the role of sexuality in society. And I finished the article and I was like, that's it. This is the work that I want to do for the rest of my life.
Wow.
It was very random. So
one article changed your mind and the direction of your life.
Exactly. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is something that I want to do. And then I managed to find the company he works for. And I got a little bit drunk, and I decided to write them an email because they weren't searching for any new employees, but I was like, just please, I want to work with you. And I was 22. I didn't have any experience with sex work or this industry or the management itself. So I was like, just please give me a chance. I want to work with you. And I think it was the worst motivational letter ever. And yeah, by the time I finished the letter, I was pretty drunk. So I just did the send, and I was like, that's it, I'll see. And then few days later, they actually called me. Our HR, she called me and she was like, yeah, we read it. And it was very original. And I was like, oh shit, what I wrote there, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
And then she basically invited me for an interview, and I went through 3 rounds of the interviews. And at the end, I got the job. So yeah, and since that, it's been 9 years. And I'm still loving it. It's amazing. I mean, I'm so glad that I found this article, and it was if you think about it, I could do anything else. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm just there, and it's amazing.
So what position did you apply for? Or did you just write to them and say, I'll do anything?
No, I wanted to be the manager.
Oh, okay. So you specifically applied for that job.
Just, please give me this job. I mean, I read the article. I think it's amazing. I'm willing to learn. And it was the time when, so our company, we used to hire, the grown-up managers, coming from, hospitality or, nightlife, bars, those kind of stuff. And also like some sort of like corporate managers, and like they were really good managers in like those companies. But like if you manage people in a brothel, like you can't manage them by the power, because like the sex workers, they are not our subordinates. So we like to like approach them as an equal, because they are independent contractors. So when they work with us, they can like, they decide about their prices, about services. They can always refuse the customer. Like we never set the schedule for them. So it's different type of the management. And I think like what really helps, and those people who were coming from like hospitality, like they knew like different type of the management, so they were not really good managers at brothel. And since I didn't have like any concept of like what should I do as a manager, like they basically showed me everything, and like over the years I kind of developed this like very unique managerial style. And like I believe like I'm a good manager at a brothel, but like I don't think I would be a good manager like anywhere else.
There's a lot of parallels I can draw here, because as a director, obviously directing people in videos doing sex work, it is absolutely a job, like you said, but you can't manage them like you would like regular actors or any other job. There's a strange nuance there because on one hand, it is a job, it is a performance, but it's also sex. So there's like a level of intimacy there that you have to respect. And there's a level of vulnerability there that doesn't exist in any other job, really, I don't think. And you have to understand that nuance, and not everybody does. Can I ask you, how many female managers had worked there before you?
Like before me, I have no idea. But like we have 7 managers. We are like top 2 of us. So it's me and my colleague. And then we have 3 girls and the rest are guys. And it's actually kind of funny because like here in America, like most of the managers, like they call themselves madams, they are girls. Whereas like in Europe, like most of the time, like the managers are guys. So with us, it's like a little bit different. Like we like to have like more girls in a managerial team, but like
So what drew you? I mean, doing this pivotal change, you must have obviously had certain feelings about like sex and sex work before you made this decision, right? Like, was there a natural curiosity there? And this is what
I guess
drew
so.
you
Like
in?
I was always like pretty open about like sex. I like to try different things. I used to go to swingers quite a lot because like in Europe, it's fairly normal. It's probably more normal than here. So
Yeah, I would say so.
I was like pretty open about like sex, and this place seemed like sex positive place. So I was like, yeah, it kind of fits into like my own relationship to sex. And like obviously like if I would be like any like prudish type of person, like probably I couldn't work there. But like since I'm not, and like I respect that like everyone can do whatever they want with their sexuality. It's like they can either sell it, they can either share it with one person, they can either like decide like not to do anything sexual at all, because like I believe that like we own our sexuality. So I guess I'm in a good place.
Yeah. How did your family and friends react to this career path? Were people surprised?
Yes. Like my friends, they kind of knew about this because like I was so thrilled about the article. So like I told them, like I sent them the article. I was like, you need to read this. And so like my friends, they kind of expect this, but like my family, they didn't. So they kind of thought that, so most people in my family, they either have PhDs, or I think my father, he's professor already. So like I come from this family and like everybody is lawyer, like economists, they do research. And they kind of thought that I will go into that path as well. So when I started with the neuropsychology, they were like, good, okay, nice. Like this is what we kind of wanted you to do. And then the brothel happened, and then I needed to tell them. So like my father, he just sat and listened, and he was like, okay, that sounds like a really good place where you actually take care of the women and like you really respect them. So he was cool, but my mom, she was not. I mean, she didn't speak with me for some time, and she was like, oh, so you're going to be a pimp or what? So like I needed to explain her everything. And like eventually she was like, okay, yeah, like probably like you're not some sort of like bad pimp, like, beating girls or something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but it took them a while, like especially my mother. And I have a brother, and he's 7 years younger than I am. So for him, I'm like really cool sister, especially with the socials and everything. Like for him, it's like, do you know my sister?
Does he send like his friends to your place and be like,
I
or
don't
like do
know.
his
I
friends
mean,
ask for a discount or?
I mean, he never told me this. So like, I don't know, probably not.
So walk me through a typical night at your club. What can people expect when they visit a brothel?
You basically, so we have stairs, you walk up the stairs and there is a reception. And our receptionist, they will first speak with you just to see like whether you are drunk or like you're aggressive or something. So in case like you are too drunk or you start to behave like weirdly, like they will not let you in.
Mm-hmm.
So first you need to go through reception and buy the entry ticket, which is valid for 24 hours, and it costs like 20 euros or like dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're basically good to go. So there is a part with the rooms and there is a part for the customers. So you can either chill at the bar, or we have like several lounges or like VIP areas. So you can sit there and relax. Like, and a lot of the guys, they actually do this. So they come to the brothel and they're like, oh, maybe like I don't want to see the sex workers yet. Or maybe I'm just like here to hanging out with my friends. So a lot of the guys, they actually come in and they just like stay at the bar. And some of them, they just go like straight to the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like no pressure to like choose the sex workers or like to choose the services. Basically, you can just like hang out there. And if you decide like you want to meet the girls or something, you just go there and then it's up to you.
Okay. So say I want to, order a service.
Okay.
What are the next steps there?
So you basically need to walk through the hallway, and the girls, like each of them, they have their own rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So they are either standing in front of the room, or they are sitting in the room, or like laying down in the room. This is pretty much up to them. And you just like walk past them. And when you see somebody that you like, you need to start to speak with her and like ask her like, what do you want to do? Like, what is your price range? Because as I said, like the girls, they are deciding about the services and about the prices and like everything by themselves. So like you need to speak with them, and it might happen that she will like refuse you. Like she will be like, I don't want to work with you for any reason. It's always their right to refuse the customer. So you just basically need to speak with the ladies, and then if she decides that it's okay, you're good to go, and she will just basically invite you to the room, close the door, and then the fun begins.
Now, what if I went in there with a very specific thing that I wanted?
Mm-hmm.
Like, say I really wanted to have anal, right? Like, would I
That's not actually very specific. Like a lot of the guys, this is actually like
okay.
top one surveys the guys want. So
Okay. Actually, so after this
like
question,
to be the penetrated one, like
Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. I want to be penetrated.
Okay.
Well, I said anal because not every girl wants to do anal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just wondering if he's told, okay, well, the girls in room 3, 6, and 7 will do anal, but none of the rest of them do, or do you have to go to each girl and ask?
Yeah, you have to go to each girl and ask, because like one of the things like we don't do is like we don't advertise the services, because if she doesn't feel like doing this service at that moment, like, and if we say, okay, like this girl, she does XYZ, and like she wouldn't feel like doing it, maybe at the time, or like maybe with that customer, like she would feel pressure to do it. Right. So like they all decide like right away.
So then leaning on what you kind of said before, what is like the most specific or interesting thing that a client has looked for in a brothel?
So, I mean, I've seen everything. But like the top one is like anal sex. Like they want to be the one who's being penetrated. Because, and like, also those guys are usually like married or in a relationship, and they're like, I would love to try this. Like I heard it's very pleasurable, but like I don't want to ask my partner about it because she might think that I'm like weird, or like maybe something will change between them. So like a lot of the guys who are in a relationship, they come to brothel to try to be penetrated. And like the weirdest one, I think I've seen everything. So like different role plays, different type of the like. What I like about the brothel is that you get to actually see like the erotic fantasies that are like not erotic for everyone. So like a lot of the guys, they have this very specific fantasy, and like you would say it's normal. I mean, like, so we have one customer and he likes to watch girls eating pizza, like specifically Hawaii pizza with the pineapple on it.
Oh,
and like
that's the best kind. I love
I don't know. So like this is his fantasy, and like the girls are paid for eating pizza in front of him.
And that's all they do?
Yeah.
Can I get a job there?
I mean,
I'll eat Hawaiian pizza in front of somebody all day.
But like it's not like this every day, okay? So
can I only eat Hawaiian pizza?
I mean, you can, but like probably you will not make that kind of money just with it. But like maybe you can try it. I mean.
So can you explain the rental model, why women are considered like the clients of the club?
We actually decided to have this model. And so our company is in market around like 30 years. So we are like kind of old and like the biggest companies in Europe. And we kind of decided this because we think that this is the most like fair thing to do. So when you take the share of sex workers' earnings, that means that you will want her to be working as much as she can because like you will make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And while when you have this rent, and the rent it's around $200 for one day, so it doesn't matter if she makes like 3,000 euros a day or 300 euros, she still paid the same. And we think that this is like the fairest model because she can decide like, okay, I have enough. But like the negative aspect about this is like you need to pay the rent in advance. So like it might happen that you will be working and you leave with zero or like with minus. And this sometimes happens. So I always tell these girls when we have the hiring interview, I always tell them like, look, there's possibility that you will pay the money, you will work, but like you will not make the money back. So, and for some girls, this is the deal breaker. So they would rather go to a club where they need to share the earnings, but like they start with zero. And the worst case scenario is like they will leave with zero. But like with us, they can leave with like minus 200 euros.
A lot of hairdressers do that. They like rent a station and then they do whatever they do there. And that's how it works.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense in this way. So then do girls like reserve the rooms, and are there girls who have a hierarchy in terms of being able to book rooms before other girls, or do they just have to do it in advance?
So they have application on their mobile phone, so they need to book it through this app. And so they can decide like, okay, I want to book this room in like 2 weeks, and then she just pays the rent and that's it. She can always move the rent by herself. But like there's like no hierarchy. So the first one that pays the room is her. And yeah, so that's how we kind of decide.
And then I'm assuming that you have a selection process in terms of like who you're going to allow to rent rooms there, because you can't just have like hundreds and hundreds of girls. So how does that work?
We actually don't have like selection process. I mean, if she wants to try to work with us, she can. So the first day when she works with us, it's always free. So like we don't want to take their money for something like she doesn't know if it's going to work for her or not. So the first day is always free. And it's not like the selection. I mostly just sit down with them and like I show them around the club, like how it looks. And then I told them the rules. And the rules are like, they need to decide by themselves, like what type of the service, what price, if they will refuse the customer or not. And for some girls, they are coming from clubs where the manager really managed the business. They are like, I don't know what to do. It's like, you need to bring me the customer. And I'm like, look, here you are, like, I mean, we are there for you to support you. there's security, but like you need to speak with the customer. Like you need to set the boundaries. It's like you need to do the talking. It's like, I'm not going to bring you single customer. And for some girls, they're like, I don't want to work here. It's like, I need somebody to bring me the customer and then I'll do the service. But like, I don't want to talk with him. Like, I don't know how. There is not a set. So we don't have even like a price list because every girl has her own prices. So they need to be able to negotiate the prices. They need to be able to negotiate the boundaries. And this is something that I always tell the new girls, like, we are here to support you, but like you need to also stand up for yourself and you need to be able to communicate. And so if she hears this and she's like, okay, yeah, I can do this, then I'm like, okay, yeah, then you can work with us, but like able to work for another 2 weeks. So like think about those at least like financial consequences, or like think about it in like long term and try to figure out some like strategy.
Okay, so let's talk about safety, because I'm sure that this is something people are probably thinking about. Do you have safety measures at the club? Is there like a button that they hit if they're like getting in trouble? Exactly that.
So yeah, exactly. I mean, this is one of the measures that we have. So the first is the reception. So if you are like drunk, drugged, aggressive, like the guys and the girls working in reception, like they will not let you in. The second one is that when we see that you already had enough, because like a lot of the people, when they go to brothel, they think that they can do like whatever and they like to drink a lot. So when we see that you already had enough, we are like, maybe you should go home, like sleep a little bit. You can always come the next day because the ticket is valid for 24 hours. So you can always come back. Maybe today it's not your day. So this is the second one. And the third one is that the girls, they all have panic button in the room. So when she presses the panic button, the guys from reception, they need to be there within 8 seconds from the time when she presses it.
Oh, wow.
And they are trained like quite regularly. So every month they need to go through this like training. Even though they are with us like for many years, they still need to repeat it. And we also have like new people, so they need to learn it and they need to know it by heart, because 8 seconds is like a really short time. So they need to know where exactly the brothel room is, like what's the shortest way. Like they need to communicate with us. They need to, so 2 of them, they need to decide like who's gonna go there. So it's like big procedure that we need to show them like how to do.
And is this a procedure that you as the company created? Or
yeah, this is just us. Like I've never seen anybody doing the procedure the same. I was in Amsterdam and like I spoke with some of the workers. So they are my friends and they work there. And I was like, so like, what will happen if I will press the panic button? And she was like, well, maybe like somebody will come in like 3 minutes, maybe not.
3 minutes.
I was like, 3 minutes, it's a long time. Because like we have 8 seconds, because like somebody told us, like when you strangle somebody, it takes 8 seconds until you lose the consciousness. Wow. So like they need to be there that fast.
Wow. That's crazy. How do you collaborate with police or government agencies? Because, you know, brothels are illegal here in California, but in Nevada they are. So we have all kinds of strange rules against it. But brothels are not legal everywhere in Europe. Just certain, I mean, Amsterdam, obviously.
It kind of depends. So we have like few things that we need to go through like throughout of the year. So we have like hygiene inspection coming in. We have tax office. So we obviously need to pay taxes and we need to pay correct amount. Then we have the police. They are usually coming every 2 months or something for a checkup, and they speak with the girls. They speak with us. So that's it. Then we also need to follow all the rules that we need to follow. And so this is what we do.
What are like some of the specific rules that you have in order to have a brothel?
So we can't advertise the services.
Okay.
So we can't say like, this girl will do this service for this amount of money. Like this is what we can't say because they are independent contractors. So they need to decide about this by themselves. I know that some of the clubs, they kind of don't care about this. So they just have the price list on their website. But like we are very big and like we are really official. So like we want to follow the rules.
Because you're a big target.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like since we are the biggest ones, I mean, you know, we can't really break the rules, even though like we don't want to, but like. Yeah.
Can you advertise the brothel itself?
Yeah, we can. So like this is what we can do. We also can't advertise that we are hiring anybody. So we can't say, hey girls, we are having like those very lovely rooms, come to work with us. We can't do that either. We can advertise the brothel itself, like guys, you can come here, have a good time, but we can't say like what specific time they will have.
What about testing? What's your take on mandatory STI testing in the US versus Europe?
Mm-hmm. So I heard that in the US it's 7 days.
It depends.
So, like, yeah,
it depends. So I think, and I haven't directed in like 2.5 years, but it used to be 30 days. Like
that's a long time ago.
Like a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned to, and this is all self-regulated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the industry as a collective kind of decided upon this.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 weeks, 14 days now,
Okay.
I believe. But certain girls can request shorter time periods. Certain girls be like, I want a 1-day test.
Yeah.
You have to test the day before I work with you. And that's entirely up to them. So
in Europe, it kind of depends on the state. So some states, they don't regulate this at all. Like it's up to the worker to go to get tested or like not to get tested. This is on her because the condoms are always mandatory. So like technically like like the test like shouldn't even be a thing in some places. But so for example, in Austria, there is 8 weeks that the testing period. So like every 8 weeks, the sex workers, they need to go to get tested. And what happened in Austria is that the managers of those clubs, they kind of decided that they are healthy, so they should provide like oral sex without a condom because this is what the client wants. And so the girls, because they are healthy and it kind of provides you this like false feeling of safety, this is what kind of led to managers to push some women to do this. And like, I don't think it's great because like you should decide about your own body. So it kind of depends like how are you going to approach it. It's like, it can be a good thing. It can be like absolutely shitty thing.
Have you ever had this situation where like a girl has not used condoms or, has a certain client that pays extra for not using condoms and then you find out? I mean, is there any way you can enforce that?
So since they are independent contractors, like I don't really know what is going on inside of that room unless she told me. So I know that some of the girls, they are offering extra, which is like oral without a condom. This is like the most common extra. And I think it's like everywhere in Europe. So some of the girls, they do this. They choose the clients like with whom they will do it. But like sex without a condom, I don't think like I've ever heard this because like they know it's their safety, it's their body, and like they don't want to risk it for any amount of money. And just to give you like the context, like the best earning women that works with us, they make around like $50,000 a month. So like they are not willing to risk it for, I don't know.
So the women who are the most popular and make the most amount of money at your club, what are some common like traits that you see in them? Like what makes a girl like a really great, as we call in-person sex worker?
So a lot of the people, they think that it's just because of the way how she looks, but that's definitely not that. Like those women, they are like really hardworking workers. They usually work like 6 or 5 days a week, like 12 hours, because like they are really like determined to earn a lot of money. And they usually stay in the industry for like 5-6 years and they like, I'm all set up, like I don't need to work. And they have like a really big like clientele base. So they have like a lot of regulars. It's not even about the services. It's mostly like how good you can be with people. And that's like the most common trait, I would say, like being empathetic and like know how to speak with people and like be a really good salesperson. Because like you need to pursue them, like to spend a lot of money with you. And like once the guy is in the room, they're like, he's not leaving until he will pay me a lot of money. And they know how to do this. And they know how to do this. And like the guy, he doesn't feel pressured. Like he feels like, I had a really good time.
But my wallet's much lighter, but
yeah, it's like, I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah. So what are the biggest misconceptions about brothels or the women who work in it that you come across?
There's so many. So like a lot of the people, they think that sex workers are like some miserable human beings, like this is their last resort. And like they come to this place because they like rationally decided that this is the best possible way, like how to earn money or like to have fun. Because like a lot of the people, they kind of assume that like sex workers are there just to get the money. And that's correct. I mean, like you can't ignore the monetary aspect. Like if you are making like $50,000 a month, you can be like, yeah,
I mean,
whatever.
All of us all of us work for money, right? And if you can find a position that pays you more, you're usually going to take it as long as what you do falls in line with what you're comfortable with.
Exactly. But like a lot of the girls, they are coming to the industry and they're like, look, I love the nightlife. I like to get the attention from the guys. I mean, I would do this probably for free. So like, why I should have like a bad sex for free when I can take like money for the same thing? And a lot of the girls, they have this like some sort of like adventure. So some of them, they are married, and like the guy that is their husband, like they have no idea.
Oh my God. Where do they think they go?
Well, usually they say that they either work at the bar or they are like private babysitters and they work during the night. And like the guys, they have no idea. Exactly. I mean, sometimes, sometimes it's very close to babysitting.
Oh my God. Wow.
So like the husbands, they have like no idea, and like they have all the tricks, like how to hide it. And they just basically have this like as a huge adventure. And then like after 6 a.m., they just go back to the husband and they like live the normal life.
Right.
A lot of the people, they think that like the sex workers, they are like desperate and like they didn't have like any other choices. But the truth is, at least like what I see. So like I only see like a small part of the industry, and like we are talking about like indoor voluntary sex work. Like we are not talking about sex trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the people, they think that sex workers, they don't have any other choices. But like, this is something that I don't see, because like most of the women, they have different choices. Like they used to work in different like industries, like retail or like sales or something. But they were like, I have enough. It's like, I can't do this anymore. It's like the money is not worthy. Like maybe I will just try this. And like, one of my really good friends from the industry, she's a lawyer. She speaks 6 languages, and like she's still in the industry because she's like, I mean, that makes sense. Like financially, it makes sense.
So how do women describe the empowerment that they feel in this line of work? Because obviously you talk to these girls on like a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, well, they don't describe it as an empowerment. Like they don't use this word, but like usually what I hear, it's like, I like to get the attention. I mean, I feel like really powerful with the money, because like now they are in this place where they can like afford everything, and like it's like nothing. It's a problem for them. So they can buy the houses, they can invest in properties, they can travel, they can do like whatever they want. So like this gives them like the sense of like, I earned this. I mean, this is what I did. Like I'm not depending on anyone. Also like the attention of the guys and the fact that like they are their own boss. So usually when they decide to quit the industry and they want to go to like normal job, and all of a sudden they have the boss, I often see them coming back to the industry and they're like, I don't need the money anymore, but like I don't want to be like anybody's subordinates. It's like I felt like shit. Like they treat me like shit. So like this sense of like, this is me. I'm deciding about my body, about my services, about my own money. Like this gives them like the pleasure to...
Just the financial freedom and the ability to be independent and all of it. I mean, it's the same in our industry.
I mean, also the attention. So like a lot of them like...
You have to be somebody who likes male attention to do this job.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what's the most surprising client request you've seen? I mean, I know you've seen like a lot, but has there ever been anything where besides the pizza guy? Okay, maybe the pizza guy is the most surprising.
I mean, I love the guy who came in and he was dressed as a polar bear. So he had this huge polar bear costume, and we were like, what is going on here? And he was like, yeah, well, it's my fantasy. And like, we have this procedure when you are entering the club, we need to see your face. So we were like,
you can't just walk in as a polar bear and just skate on past.
No, I mean, we needed like him to take off the hat so we can like see his face, because we have also like a blacklist of the people that are like blacklisted. So we need to make sure that he's not on that list. So, and also because of the CCTV. So he needed to take it off, and he was like, yeah, well, this is like my fantasy. It's like, I want to play like a polar bear costume fantasy. Like, she will be the one who's going to hunt me. And like at the end, like she will hunt me and like we will have sex. And what? Nice, okay. Why not?
Yeah. I think we call that furries here, like people who like to dress up as animals.
Yeah, but this was like specifically the polar bear.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I know the furries, but this was like specifically about like him being a polar bear in like the polar circle, and like she needs to hunt him. So there was this aspect of like power play, and I actually loved it.
Yeah. That's so interesting. I wonder why a polar bear specifically. He must have had some kind of fascination with polar bears growing up or something like that.
I don't know. Or maybe he just had a like spare costume and he managed to create this fantasy around it.
Is it a good costume?
It was nice. I mean, I have pictures and it was like nice because we obviously took a picture of him.
Does he have sex with the costume still on? You gotta get so hot in that thing.
I don't think that would be possible. I think like at some point he needed to at least like lower the like.
Unless he has a special hole, maybe he's a flap.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I didn't ask him. Maybe I should.
I'm so curious to know if he like stays in the costume, because I mean, you know, like mascot costumes, they smell because people like sweat in them, and I mean, I can't.
But like some people, they like it. So
yeah. To each their own.
Yeah, I mean, I love to see this. I mean, I love to see people getting creative about like the sexuality. And like, this is specifically what I love about like working in brothel, because you can see like a lot of fantasies, and like, you can't, like, you don't need to like identify with anything. So like the brothel is usually like a playground where you can like try different things, like without the pressure of like identify yourself, like, okay, are you straight, or like, are you into BDSM? It's like this like Western obsession with like identifying ourselves.
Yeah.
So we can be like readable for others. Like you don't need to do this in brothel. It's like you can go there and be like, okay, I want you to fuck me in like this, and this, and I want to wear like a polar bear costume. And like, you don't need to confess to anything. You don't need to be like, okay, yeah, like guys, I'm into this, please. No, you can just like try it and then you will see.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a wonderful place of non-judgment.
Yeah.
To experiment, because sex is multifaceted. There's a lot of different ways that you can enjoy sex, and being a polar bear is one of them.
Exactly. And even though like the sex is not involved, I still like that people like to get creative. And like, even though you're like, okay, but like she didn't have sex with him, but it was still a service. And it doesn't matter if it's like dynamic play or if it's just talking. A lot of the guys, they actually come to brothel just to talk. So sometimes the girls are like I feel like a therapist.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of the guys, they are like, listen, I have this problem with my wife. Like, can you please maybe help me? And
but
like,
the girls,
I don't know.
I mean, they charge them for that, right?
Oh yeah,
like,
they do.
They got to have a rate for.
They charge
a rate. My therapy rate.
They charge a lot for this actually, because like sometimes the guys, they can go like 3-4 hours, and it's like it's a lot of emotional labor.
Yeah.
And like this is something that a lot of the people, they actually don't know about the sex work as well. It's like it's emotional labor. So a lot of the time you actually spend talking, you spend like comforting each other, or like you spend talking about the boundaries or like something, but it's not just about sex.
Yeah.
Mostly it's actually not.
Yeah. I mean, I heard that from a lot of girls who escort, and that most of the date is talking, and the sex might be like 5 minutes,
exactly.
But like it's a 4 or 5 hour date.
Exactly.
And I think that there's something about sex workers where men can really feel not judged because so many people, especially in this country, grow up with such a sense of shame around sex. You know, when they were raised in a family where sex is bad, you don't talk about it, it's taboo. And when you have these desires that you want to act upon, like any woman that you would meet in a bar, like, you know, if this guy went to a bar and met some girl and took her home, he was like, hey, do you mind if I wear a polar bear costume? She would probably be like, I'm getting at it. You know what I mean? Like, and that is the one place where, you know, you're really not judged. It's kind of a very freeing thing about it. So you've said that American men are often the best customers. Why is that?
Because they are not so used to seeing sex workers. And so they are like super polite. Usually they are like, they need to get themselves like a little bit drunk because they are like not used to it.
Yeah.
So
like
with us, like walking in the city and like you see the brothels, it's like they are part of the city. So like for you, like for the Europeans, it feels like normal to be around brothels and at least like you know about them and like you probably have some friends and they went to one. So like you know it's a thing and you know like how to behave at least. But like Americans, like they don't know what to expect. So they're like, can I please? And can I? And I think it's really nice because like when you are asking the sex workers, it's like, please, can I do this? I think it actually shows like respect. And so some of the workers, they like really like to work with Americans because like they are really respectful because like they are a little bit scared. And they also don't have like the bad habits because like sometimes the guys, when they are regulars, they are like, yeah, well, maybe like I can push the boundary a little bit more. It's like I can negotiate, like I can haggle. Like Americans, like they don't do this.
Yeah, because they're not coming in all the time. I can definitely see it how, I mean, you know, I see this on OnlyFans. I'm sure you probably do too, where they're like, I've spent a lot of money on you. Can I get a discount on this? So I can definitely see that happening for sure. How do European clients differ from American ones? Just in that sense? Or is there anything?
I would say, and maybe this is just like my impression, but like the guys from Europe, they are like not so uptight about it. Like for them, it's like a normal experience to go to brothel. Whereas like the Americans, they're like, oh my God, I went to the brothel. It's something. I mean, it's like one of the biggest experience in my life. And like the European guys are like more chilled. Maybe they just go to the brothel and they don't even engage with the sex workers. So it's just like the place where they can like to hang out. But Americans, when they are in a brothel, they need to try a lot of things. And they're like, just take the picture of me. It's like, I am here, you know, I'm going to tell all my friends about this. Whereas like for us, it's like, yeah, I mean, as you said, like for us, it's a normal thing. I mean, we are surrounded by it. Like also the sex culture is different in Europe. But like here in America, it's like a big thing to go to the brothels. So like they're like, oh my God, I need to try everything. And those kind of stuff.
So what about female clients? Do you have many of those?
Not many. We do have some. So some of the girls, they come to the brothel and these are like usually the girls are like, maybe I want to try something. I'm not quite sure. I'm like, I was always curious about this and I want to do this in a safe environment. Not every sex worker though works with female clients. So for them, it's like something different and it kind of, it's not part of their routine. So they are like not used to it. So some of them, they're like, no, I just like don't want to do this, which is like fine. We actually had one, and it was really cool. So we had actually one group of the girls and they came in and they were like from, I guess like Middle East or something. They looked like princess, like Arabic princess. And they actually sat down and they were like, this is part of our culture. So when we are like starting with the sex life, we need to be initiated by somebody who like is more experienced. So they actually sat down and they went to the room with the girls and they were just asking about the things. It's like, okay, so like what I should do what I should do when. So I think this is cool.
So they just had like a class.
Oh yeah.
It was like they took a workshop.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So, do you actually have any men that ever rent out the rooms?
I would love them to be working there, but no, we only have girls.
Have you
like
ever
no
had
boys?
a man?
No, we are like pretty open to everyone. So we used to have like few trans people in the past, but we never had boys. And I think it's a shame, but they have their own places, and like we are very like heterosexual place. So for them, it's not a good place to make money. And as for like the girls as a clients to the male sex workers, like girls, they don't usually want to pay for this service.
Because they can usually get it for free.
Exactly. But like, I think it's like, so if I had the opportunity, like I would definitely like to try it, because I think it's like much more safer than like go to the bar and like pick up some random guy. Like you don't know who the person is. It's like you don't know what is going to happen. And like he's definitely not there to make you feel good. I mean, he's there to make him feel good. So
wow. This is sort of like a little bit off topic, but this is like the one place where I feel I can fit in this interesting piece of information, because this blew my mind. So there was like a friend of the family that I was talking to who wanted to have a kid, and she's single. And so, you know, I assumed she would do in vitro like most single women do. And so I was talking to her about it, you know, it's very expensive. Where are you going to go for the procedure? And she's like, oh, no. I'm getting impregnated like by a man naturally. And I was like, well, what do you mean? So there's like a group, and I don't want to say the name of it because I don't want to like call it out, but apparently there's this group on Facebook, I think is where she found them, where you can literally go and pay a man to impregnate you with a child.
Okay. How much you need to pay?
I don't know, but it's a lot less than in vitro. I'll tell you that much. In vitro can be like $100,000.
$100,000?
Yeah, I know people who've spent that much because they've had to do it so many times because it didn't work.
Okay.
With this, you just keep having
sex. That kind of makes sense, yeah.
I mean, like way cheaper.
Yeah. Plus you have the sex, which is a good thing.
Yeah. But I was like, that is nuts. But yeah, it's like a thing.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense.
It does make sense, right? I mean, if you can't afford in vitro fertilization, which most people can't. Like, anyways, I just like, it just felt like I could just slide that little piece of information in there. Can you break down the key differences between European clubs and Nevada brothels? Have you been to the brothels?
Yeah. I visited 4 of them. It's completely different. I mean, just the location. So they are like in such a remote locations, like the rules that the girls need to follow. I mean, the places itself, they were nice, but like the rules that they need to follow, I was like, this is like a little bit steep, because like they need to be on the site, like they can't leave. So when they are working, they need to work. Like the brothel, they take the 50% of them, plus on top of that, they pay the rent as well.
Wow.
So, but the rent was like $60, or like, I think it was like around $100, something. I don't know. So they need to pay the rent. They need to pay the percentages, and like they can't leave. And this is something that really like stuck with me, because like imagine that like somebody tells you, okay, you can work, but like there is basically like no autonomy. Like you need to stay there, and like we will police you, and like we will check you. And like, okay, the prices in Nevada were like definitely higher. I mean, it started with like thousands, like 1,000, I think was the base. You will not see this in Europe mostly. Wow. So like Europe is like fairly cheap when you compare this to Nevada.
So what's like maybe an average, if I just wanted straight up regular missionary boy-girl sex?
I would say for half an hour, it's like 150 euros.
Okay.
So it's like
I think that's
160.
Yeah, I don't know what the euro
like
is now, but last time I checked, it was like not exactly double, but that was a while ago. So
yeah, I guess it's like $200 and like you're good.
Yeah.
I think that this gives you nowhere in America. So like nobody will ever even talk with you for like $200. So the girls, they are like making like less amount of the customer throughout of the day, but I guess like the money, and also like they need to pay the taxes, and like here the taxes are like much more bigger, because like everything goes through the club like very officially.
Yeah.
So the club, they know like how much they are making. Whereas like with us, lot of the girls, they just don't pay the taxes. Like they pay some sort of taxes, but like don't pay the taxes in fully because like nobody knows how much they are making. So they're like, I will just declare like the absolute minimum.
So it's usually a cash business.
Oh yeah.
They don't like take Zelle or Venmo or PayPal.
No. Like the PayPal or like Revolt or something, they are very friendly.
PayPal will shut you down if they think you're doing
so
sex
like
work.
Mostly they just take the cash. Some of the girls, they do like Bitcoins in the past, but like
I'm assuming you have an ATM machine on site.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do. And like most of the guys, they also like to use cash because it leaves no traces.
Yes, that makes sense. From your perspective as a psychologist, what role does shame play in how society sees sex work? And do you see a huge distinction between America and Europe? I mean, I know the answer to that, but I'm just going to ask it anyways.
Well, I see like a huge difference between like America and Europe, but like still overall, people are like so anxious about sex life and like sexuality. So we need to confess about our sexuality. Like we are constantly checking whether we are having like a lot of sex, whether we are having like less sex than usual, like if we should do this in like most normal way. Like we are constantly like checking ourselves, like if the sex we are having is normal. And I just really don't like this like Western perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So like sex should be something that it's like joyful, it gives you pleasure, and like as long as like everybody consent and like you're doing this because you want to, and the person or like the people around you who are like, you know, doing this with you, who are there like willingly and they want to do this with you as well, like you should not feel anxious whether you are doing something like not appropriate.
So if a man's going to come to the brothel and, you know, try it out, what would you tell them that maybe they should do beforehand? Is there any advice that you give for guys?
Well, definitely be respectful towards the sex workers. So some of the guys, they kind of assume that when they pay for the service, they pay for the whole person. So it's not that case. So like the girls, they always can say no, like I'm not going to do this, and it's their right. So I always tell the guys like respect like what they say and like don't do anything like she doesn't want you to do. Ask her first, because like a lot of the guys, they kind of assume that like everything is okay, like I can do this, I can do that, and they're like, no, this is like this is not it. And like also like don't get themselves drunk, because like a lot of the guys, they are maybe nervous or they like to party, or they maybe like to take drugs, or a lot of the guys are thinking that taking Viagra, it's a good idea. But like usually when they are taking the Viagra, it's not because like they have this Viagra prescribed, but they just found it somewhere, like the friends gave them the friends gave the Viagra to them. So, and then they take it and like, they don't know what is going to happen. And like once we actually needed to call an ambulance because one guy, he was like 70 years old or something. He took the Viagra and like his heart just like didn't almost make it. So we needed to call an ambulance, and like his son was there. And I was like, what did he take? And he was like, I don't know. And then he was like, yeah, well, he took Viagra. And I was like, but you know, you can't take this unless it's prescribed. And then he was like drinking. So we needed to call an ambulance. And like, luckily, they saved him. But like a lot of the guys, they think that this is a place like where they need to show up and like...
And show off.
Yeah, this is what I meant.
Yeah. Wow. God, can you imagine dying of a heart attack in a brothel because you took too much Viagra?
And your son is there.
Do you see a lot of like families come in?
Sometimes.
Like father, son, mother, daughter?
Mother, daughter. I mean, we have a mother and daughter working together.
Oh.
So that was like a little bit unusual. I mean, I got used to it over the years, but like they also sometimes take the guys like to the room to, you know, do the service, like both of them. Which like for me, when I picture myself with my mother, I'll be like, shit, please, no.
Yeah. I feel like that's the case for most of us, but...
Yeah. But like recently we had a guy and he's quadriplegic.
Quadriplegic.
quadriplegic, and his parents, they actually take him to the brothel quite regularly. So I think this is nice, and they are like such lovely people, and the guy, he's also very nice.
You know, that reminds me of this one time we were talking about sex work, and we were talking about, you know, how it should be legal and how people shouldn't be shamed for hiring sex workers. And I actually had a Patreon member who wrote me an email that I never forgot. And he said, you know, he thanked me for the interview and for the perspective. And he said, you know, the thing is that people don't really ever think about those of us who really can't experience intimacy with a woman in an easy way. He was in a wheelchair. And, you know, people say, oh, go out there and get a real girlfriend. He's like, that is like very difficult. You think I can go to the bar and a girl's going to go home with me? Like most women don't want to have sex with me because I'm in a wheelchair. Like, and so should I be denied that human touch, you know, that experience because I'm, you know, crippled? And going and seeing a sex worker who is providing a service, you know, he's like, it makes me feel like loved, and it makes me feel so much better. And he said, you know, these sex workers, like, I know that they care about me, you know, in a way that like your therapist cares about you when you see them. Like they're not gonna, you know, move in with you, but they do care about you. And I just thought that it was a perspective I'd never thought about, you know, because you don't think about the men who, you know, really struggle to connect with women. And that there's a lot of them out there. You don't even have to be handicapped for that to happen.
Exactly. I mean, we have quite a lot of guys, and they are coming in and they are like, they don't identify themselves as an incel, like involuntary celibate, but they are like, I can't get like anyone to get to like me enough so they can have like sex with me. So they just come to the brothel. And I think it's like, it's a good decision actually. Like instead of like hating girls for like not choosing him or something, you just be like, okay, I just pay for the service. And
I mean, that can also be a confidence builder too. You know, like the more you do something, the more comfortable you become with it. And then maybe you feel more comfortable with women. But if you're not like having any experiences with women at all, then you become more and more isolated. Yeah.
And also the girls, they can like really feel it. So sometimes they do like this confidence boost. So they told this guy like, oh my God, you are the best one. And he's like, oh yeah, thank you. And they actually believe this. So
I remember Alice Little came on and she talked about how she actually,
she's amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing. She talks about how she works with a lot of like autistic guys and how, you know, they have each one has a very specific, you know, need, like, because they're sensory, they have sensory issues. You know, some of them want to be touched really hard or touched soft. And, you know, you have to know like how to, you know, touch them in a way that works for them. And
how to work with them, because it's work. So this is like mostly when people think about sex work, they don't think about you need to actually have this people skill. And it's like a huge part of the job.
Yeah, I agree. What do you want the general public to understand the most about sex work?
I would really love to see sex work being like decriminalized, and not only sex work, but also the third parties as a brothels and those kind of like supportive structures. Because when you say to the workers, okay, well, you can do sex work, but like you can't hire anyone for your own safety. You need to make sure that there will be nobody around you helping, like in any way. And like for example, being an independent escort, it takes a lot of energy and time. So you need to find a place where you will do it. You need to do all the laundry. You need to do all the texting with the people. You need to do the scheduling. And then on top of this, you need to do the actual work. And plus the security. So you need to make sure that you are safe.
Background checks. Exactly. I've talked to so many women who have all these different ways that they try to vet a customer. But like you can never be 100% sure, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like you should be able to hire somebody who will do this for you. So when you say like, okay, you can do sex work, but like you can't do anything to make you safer in this work, like that's a little bit fucked up.
Yeah, absolutely. So the last thing I want to ask you about is your Instagram.
Okay.
Because obviously that's where I found you. And I know you have a lot of followers. What gave you the idea to start that? And when did you really start to see it pick up and realize like, oh, I have an audience for this?
Yeah, well, it was very random. So like after like 8 years in the company, like I felt like a little bit burned out. So I was like, everything is the same. And then like I also struggled. And I think that this is something that like all people in academia kind of struggle with. So you do the research, you spend enormous time doing it, and then like you publish the article and then like 10 people read it and you're like, that's all.
Yeah.
You know, and like probably 2 of those 10 people are your parents. So like that's it. So I felt that way. And I was like, maybe I will just like start social media to talk about like brothel industry, because like I felt this narrative is kind of missing. Like nobody does that. There's like a lot of sex workers talking from their perspective, and I love this. I think it's like really vital for people to see this. But then like there is nobody talking about the brothel side of the industry, about the managerial side. And this is also my PhD topic. So I study management of legal or decriminalized sex work. And I was like, maybe just like I will start a social media and talk about this, and I will just see like where this leads. And like I didn't have any experience with social media. So like my personal Instagram, I think I have like 30 people following me or something. Like I didn't know how to do this. So at some point, I think after like 3 months, it got like really big, and like everything went like viral, like all the videos. And I was like, oh shit, like what I'm supposed to do now? Like, I don't know, like I wasn't ready for this. And then like I found out like very quickly, then Instagram, it's like super prudish. It's like I was banned a few times, like the things got flagged, and I was like, shit, so maybe this is like not the good place for me to talk about those stuff. And then I was like, maybe there is another platform. And then that's when I found OnlyFans, because like here I can basically like talk about everything that I want to talk about, and like I can do the content that I want to do without like any fear that like somebody will delete my profile and like I will be left with nothing.
Yeah. I'm going to assume that you haven't even tried to do a TikTok account, because like...
I mean, I have TikTok account.
But you have to be more careful on that than Instagram, right? Like it's weird how the dynamic has changed.
Yeah. So now, even though when I'm like posting the video, I'm like, this might get like banned me or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Like maybe this is the reason why I will lose my Instagram.
But it's all educational though. I mean,
but they don't
anything.
care.
Yeah.
They just don't care. Like the
deplatforming.
Deplatforming of the people who talk about sex work and like sexuality, it's like it's a huge.
Yeah.
So it's like, even though like I think it's okay, Instagram doesn't think about it in that way. So
yeah. What do you think is the most challenging thing about your job, and what's the most rewarding?
There's like so many. So first I need to get used to the stigma, obviously. So right now, like I'm just like really used to it, or maybe just like people don't say this into my face, but I needed to get used to it, like people like judging me like quite heavily. And like a lot of the people, they actually told me, oh, you are a manager of a brothel. That's even worse than if you would be a prostitute.
Right, because they feel like you're and you're like pushing them into do things that they don't want to do.
A lot of the people, they told me, oh, you're a pimp. And I'm like, I'm actually not, you know? So like, let me explain it to you a bit.
Yeah.
But like right now, like I just really don't care. Like maybe this will sound mean, but like I don't care about like opinions of people that like don't know anything about the industry. And like their opinion is based on emotions, like not the real data or like statistics or facts. And like they don't know anyone from the industry. They think it's bad. And this is the reason why I actually talk about this, because I've heard like so many people telling me, look, like before I discovered your account or something, like I knew that this like industry is a thing, but like I didn't know anything about it. And like now I can see it can be a good place. It can be like super shitty place. Like I don't want to glamorize the industry, but like I'm trying to make people to see that like not everything is like black and white. So I needed to get used to the stigma. And like obviously the most rewarding part, like being in a brothel, it's like seeing the girls becoming like powerful and like independent and like really like learning how to stand up for themselves and like being this like badass bitches. Like I love to see this.
I love that. God, I can relate to like so many things that you said. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This was so interesting. I think you answered a lot of questions that so many people have about brothels. If people have more questions for you, where should they follow you on social media?
So they can either follow me on Instagram, which is Catherine _DeNoire, or I have TikTok and I have no idea what's my name there. So maybe I will just like send it to you and you will link it.
Don't worry, we will put a little like banner under this video that will say
it's
what
my
it is.
OnlyFans, so they can decide.
What's the OnlyFans then?
It's Catherine DeNoire.
Okay, all no spaces, all one word. Okay.
Together.
Amazing. Amazing. And you guys can follow me on Instagram at Holly Randall, also on Twitter as well. I have a TikTok. I forgot what it is. Is it Holly Randall Unfiltered? Holly Randall 78. There you go. I have a Snapchat too, Holly Podcast. One of my videos went like kind of viral the other day.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
What was it about?
I think it was about me, how I had a small towel to dry myself off in the shower because I forgot to bring towels to the gym. It was not an it was not interesting. No, it wasn't. Sorry. That one got a lot of views because of this. It was the TikTok thing that we did with the reading glasses. Don't do it. And then I put on reading glasses because anyways, because I need them because I'm blind. One day you guys will be watching this show and then all of a sudden I will have reading glasses on. And that's when you know that I am officially like gone to seed. If you want to support this podcast, watch these episodes live, get access to bonus Q&A questions like we're going to do next. Go to patreon.com/Holly Randall Unfiltered. Thank you guys so much for watching. Couldn't do it without you. Appreciate you so much. And I'll see you next week.